In this video, we're going to demonstrate the various ways you can change the graphic design chapter headers in the proposal pack templates to editable text. Now note this does not apply to our brandable packs, proposal pack for any business or proposal pack for government grants, which have all of the chapter headers in editable text already. Those are the packs best used when you know you have to make a lot of custom changes to chapter headers, which is generally going to be used in things like government RFP responses, government grants, things where you have to follow a set of RFP instructions to the letter, as opposed to making more free-form proposals. Now, if you are going to use one of our graphic design proposal packs in a situation like that, there are ways to make it easier to make chapter header changes. And we'll just show what we mean here, looking at one of the graphic design templates. This is going to be the same in every one of our hundreds of proposal packs with graphic designed chapter headers. So you'll see if I click this, this is one big picture, the logo, the stock logo, and the wording in every chapter header, whether it's executive summary, cost summary, your budget page, your company history, and so on. Every one of those has a graphic design chapter header. Now the reason for this is we use graphics for the chapter headers to improve the visual design, because we can use a wide variety of font styles across all of our design themes, and we don't have the rights to supply the font types if we had left these as editable text in a specific font. So this lets us create lots of proposal designs with custom font types in the headers without increasing the cost of our proposal packs substantially by having to license copies of the fonts for every person who also purchases a proposal pack. Now, if you need to make changes to these chapter headers to change this text, this is the feature we're going to show you how to use. And note, if you were using our proposal pack for any business design, these chapter headers would not have a logo in front and they would already be in editable text. So there are 4 ways to do this. One way works with both the Novice and Expert edition of the Wizard. The other 3 options only work with the Expert edition of the Wizard software. Now there is one other way to create custom graphic headers, which does not involve swapping out every chapter header and every page at once. There is a way to create custom graphics where you can just change one single graphic in a page if you just wanted to change one chapter header. That's not going to be covered in this video, but there are 2 ways to do that. One is if you go to our website, scroll down to the services page, we do have an option where you can order custom graphic headers for chapters. Just tell us what you need and we'll make a custom graphic and we send it to you as a new file, and the Wizard software will be able to swap it in place of the old graphic. Now if you have some design skills, every one of the proposal packs includes the original artwork files in Adobe Photoshop format. You can make your own custom graphic headers if you have, say, Adobe Photoshop, and you go license or purchase the font type we used in that design, and you can make your own custom graphics. So that's outside the scope of this particular video, but that is another way to change out single chapters. So this video is going to focus on just changing all of them to text at once. Okay, so the first way we're going to show is how to do this in the Novice Edition. And we are going to illustrate this with the Robotics #1 design theme, which is one of the hundreds of designs available. And all you have to do is go into this Document Styles button, click the Edit Style, and over on this Graphics tab, there's a checkbox. Now in the Novice Edition, most of these features will be unavailable, but this feature will be available in the Novice Edition. You just check this box, and then all the documents you generate after that will have the graphic headers changed to text. Okay. Now we've created a document in this Robotics 1 design theme using all the stock features and the graphic headers. So you can see when I highlight this table of contents, that's a custom design theme with a custom font type. It's got a custom color to it. And you'll see all of these chapter headers are in graphics. So we want to be able to convert all these to text. So one thing that will happen is when we do this, the logo for that proposal pack design theme will stay in the chapter headers, and this text will be replaced with a text version, not a graphic. Now, one thing you'll notice is the color and the font type will change. So in here we have a custom font type and a gold orange color. It will be replaced with text in black and Arial bold text. So you will see a design change here. Now you can change the color back to gold or any other color you want using the Colors tab here in the wizard. You'll see this design theme is set up with blues and grays and blacks. And if we want the wizard to change this text to gold, we would go into, say, set color number 4, used for header text and pull quote text. We would change this from black to, say, a gold color, and we would get back that part of the design. And then we could go into the wizard preferences, into the fonts screen, change this font to anything you have installed on your computer. You probably won't have this specific font type installed. If you want to get it, you'd have to go purchase it. So it's going to depend on the actual proposal pack design theme you have, which font type you would need if you want to exactly replicate this in color and font type in a text version. We've got this checked now. That's the only change we've made, checking that box. And now when we start creating new projects, we'll just pick a standard set of chapters, table of contents, executive summary, cost summary, company history. And now this generated document will have text versions of the headers. Okay, now we've opened the document. I'll scroll down. And note that the chapter header graphics don't change. There are other options for swapping this entire thing out with your logo. So this video will focus on the chapter headers of all the body pages. So now you can see, now when we click this, it's not highlighted by a giant box for an entire graphic. Only the logo is now a graphic, and all of this is editable text in every chapter. Executive summary, cost summary, and so on. And you'll note that it lost the font style and the color. Now you can get back the color by going into the wizard's preferences screen, go into the fonts screen, and then you can change the font type and color of the proposal kit page header font type, and that will let you customize these through the wizard when it generates documents. You can get it back to visually looking like the graphic design version, and you have the option of using a different font type now. Any font type you have on your computer will work. Now to change this as a one-off after a document's been created, you just go into the font styles screen. It will show us what font style that's in. So you can see this one is outlined by a box here. That's called the Proposal Kit Faux page header. Now this Proposal Kit Faux page header font style is only used in the table of contents, and that prevents the table of contents from winding up as one of the line items in the table of contents, which would be a little redundant. So all others after the table of contents are in the Proposal Kit page header. So if you want to change all of the font type and colors for all of the chapter headers, just change both of these, Proposal Kit Faux page header and Proposal Kit page header. The faux page header will only be used on the table of contents page, so it won't apply if you don't use that chapter. Now, using word styles, that means you don't have to individually change the chapter headers on every single page once you make this change. You just edit the word style itself. You can say it's an Arial Black. That's our default because we know everybody's computer will have Arial Black as the font. Now we can change this to something completely different. Any font type you happen to have in your computer is something you can change it to. Say Eris Demi ITC, for example. That just happens to be one we have installed. And if we want to get this back to, say, a gold orange color, change that. Now you can see we've changed the font typography and color across every chapter header at once. So that is the method of changing our graphic design chapter headers to editable text, and then customizing the font type and color, and you will retain the design themes graphic. Now there are 3 other ways this will happen to change out the graphic headers with text, and we'll show those next. And the next 3 are all Expert Edition features. One will involve whether you're using the translation features to translate chapter headers into international languages. The third way is if you have a custom logo that you've set up in the Edit Style screen. The last way is if you have a custom logo for the page headers that you've set up in the My Graphics folder. Those 3 will cause the wizard to make this change. And we'll illustrate the next one with a different design theme. Now note, only the design themes you've purchased and installed will be in the Purchase Installed Proposal Pack list. We just happen to have all of them installed here for demo purposes. Only the one or ones you've purchased will be selectable. Anything else you see in the list after this will be down in the purchasable list down here. We're going to illustrate the next option, say with our concepts number 14 design. And we're going to illustrate this with international translations. So we'll go back into our same project here. We'll just convert the chapter headers to a different language, say Spanish. And just to show you what the original chapter headers look like. So in this Concepts 14 design, the chapter headers are using a custom font type, still in black. It's not Arial Black, but this is still a complete graphic. So this will show you how the translation feature will do the same thing. You'll wind up with the original stock design logo, but executive summary and all the other chapter headers will be put into text, but they will be converted into Spanish in this case. Now, as soon as we save our project, we've got Spanish selected as the translation type, and this is an Expert Edition feature, not available in the Novice Edition. Okay, now this version of the document's been generated. Let's open this up, take a look at it. And you can see the title page chapter header, when you do the translation option, will convert that into Spanish. These other tags, these were meant to be replaced with the data that you put in the database, so that would be in whatever language you enter the data in. And the Wizard's translation features really only will do single words and phrases in common places that we've predefined translations for. This is not meant to translate the entire body of the instructional text. So you'll see the chapter header has been replaced with text and translated to Spanish, and all of the body pages are translated. So you can see where the text, the instructional text, is still English, because you're going to replace that with your own writing anyway, and you're going to do that in whatever language you're typing in. Cost summary, and so on. And the company history page. So that is how you get the graphic headers changed to text in the translation feature, by simply turning on the translation option in the project screen for what language you want. Now, the third way we're going to show you how graphic chapter headers will be automatically converted to text for you is if you are setting up your own custom header graphic. And this is also an Expert Edition feature. Because the chapter headers and graphic in our Proposal Pack design themes are all one graphic, when you're going to be using your own logo, the wizard really has to delete the entire graphic, which deletes the graphic version of the chapter headers. So the wizard has to replace it with text in that case. So if you go into the Edit Style screen, we're going to illustrate this next option with another design theme called our Business Number 20 Design. Now, there's no difference between all our hundreds of proposal packs. We're just illustrating different design themes just for demo purposes. They all work the same way. So if you click over to the Branding tab, there's a Browse button where you can browse to and select your logo graphic. And we just happen to set up our own logo here. And we'll use our Proposal Kit logo. And we've sized this graphic appropriately for the page headers already. So now we've just browsed to and we've selected our custom logo graphic. Now some of these other options, this is just to fine-tune the offsets of how to position the graphics relative to the text. You shouldn't have to change these defaults unless you really need to. But just generate a document, see how it looks, and then see if you need to offset the text further away or closer to your graphic and so on. And then you can update these if needed. Okay, so we've made one change here. We've simply set a path to our logo. Okay, now we're setting up the project again. We've gone back to the stock English version, not translating this time. And we've got the same set of chapters selected. And just to show you what the Business 20 design looks like, again, this is a single graphic with the stock logo and custom font type. So the same thing that's happened in the last two examples will happen again. But this time, this logo will not be replaced by the same logo, but without the text. It will be replaced by our custom logo that we've selected and set a path to. Okay, now this document's been generated. Now if we scroll down, now we see the Business 20 logo graphic. has been replaced by our custom one we send a path to, and the chapter headers have all been replaced with text. Now with the Expert Edition, and other videos will go into this, you can swap out all of these background graphics. This accent graphic, this watermark, this letterhead graphic, the graphic that's making up the background. You can change these colors. Such as these shape objects. Just by changing the color settings in the wizard, will change these colors. So many ways to customize this. Other videos will go into those details. And now this fourth option is going to just show another way of getting your custom logo into the page headers. The last option we showed you was more of a legacy version that's still in the Edit Style screen. The preferred way, now with the Expert Edition, which is where you will make all of your graphic design changes, not just the logo. If you look in some of these example folders, you can see a whole suite of graphics where you can use these as guides on how to create your own complete custom design theme, like I just mentioned a moment ago, how to change all those other graphics. In this case, we're only focusing on the my logo page header.png graphic, because this is the one graphic that will cause the wizard to swap out the stock logo and all the chapter headers and make the conversion from graphic headers to text. And I'll show this with a different logo this time. So all we have to do is put a file called mylogo-pageheader.png, put it in the appropriate size, and just stick it in this proposal pack my graphics folder. When the wizard sees a graphic with this exact name in it in this folder, it will automatically load it in place of the stock graphic in the documents. That's all you have to do. Create this graphic with this name in this folder. The wizard does everything else. Now we're going to illustrate this with our Aerospace 3 design theme this time. And we just do the same thing. We just generate a document. I'm going to just show you what the stock Aerospace 3 design theme graphics will look like. So again, it's got a stock logo and the text. And now we'll generate a new document. Well, we'll swap out that graphic with our My Graphics version of the logo. Okay, now this document has been generated. Let's open this one up, see what it looks like. So this has our Aerospace 3 design theme. I know some of these graphics look like they might be faded out. That's just simply because these graphics are in the headers and the backgrounds. Once you actually create PDFs or print them out, say the full color will come out. It's just Word has a feature where for some reason it just fades them out for display purposes when you're in the Word editing mode. Okay, now you see this custom logo we put in the My Graphics folders automatically got imported, and all the chapter headers got converted to text. So that is the 4 different ways you can convert our graphic design proposal packs chapter headers from graphics to editable text. Let us know what you think in the comments below. and click subscribe to keep up on the latest proposal writing tips with Proposal Kit.